All right, this is the video lesson for Wednesday, February 10th. Read the Calvin and Hobbes comic, and what would you tell Calvin about what demand really means? How should demand affect the price of his lemonade? So go ahead and pause the video so that you can answer this question, and answer this question in your notes. All right, so the definition of demand is the various quantities of a good or service that consumers are willing and able to buy at different prices at a particular time. This is sort of a complex definition because there's actually going to be several different elements to it. Willing and able are part of it at different prices and at a particular time. Those are also going to be elements of it. So we could think that you might be willing to buy something but not able to buy it. You might be able to buy it but not willing to buy it. So somebody would need to be willing and able, both of those things. And then at different prices, you might be willing to buy something at one price but not at another price, or able to buy something at one price but not at a different price. And there might be a particular time where you're able to buy something but not necessarily at a different time. So it's going to require all of those elements in order to meet our definition. Willing and able. Okay, so we're going to play, does Mr. Thrall have a demand for these things? So the first thing is a Wendy's Junior Bacon Cheeseburger. Do I have a demand for that? Am I in the demand category for that? Well, with the small caveat of I don't usually have cheese on my burgers. The answer is yes. I am willing and able to buy this at a particular price, the price as it is set, which is, I think, less than $1 at this time. I'm hungry right now as I make this video. So yes, I would be part of the demand group for this. What about this? A Tom Brady New England Patriots jersey. Am I in the demand for a Tom Brady New England Patriots jersey? The answer is no, I am not. Now, you might say, well, Tom Brady's not on the Patriots anymore, so this is less expensive. Okay, fine. But I was never a Patriots fan to begin with, so I am not going to be part of that. It is me. I might be able to buy it, but I am not willing to buy it at this or any other time. Last one here. Am I in the demand for a Porsche? What do you think? Am I in the demand for a Porsche? The answer is no, I'm not. Am I willing to buy this? I mean, maybe. Yeah, it'd be nice to have a Porsche. Am I able to buy it? Certainly not. This is not a wise purchase for me. I'm not willing to buy it. And at this particular time, I'm definitely not willing to buy it. Okay. And at this particular price, at the price that the Porsche would cost, I'm not willing to buy it. So this illustrates for us, though, the difference between an individual demand versus a market demand. So I may not have demand for a Porsche, but others do. So Porsche, when they are doing their meetings and when they're deciding what cars to produce and what cars not to produce, they're not going to say, well, Mr. Thrall doesn't want this car, so therefore we're not going to produce it. No, others might have the demand for that car. And that is a concept known as market demand. This is the sum of all individuals' demand. So Porsche doesn't go out of business just because I can't afford it, right? There are plenty of people who are willing and able to buy a Porsche at the price that they have set at this particular time. And so there is going to be a market demand for that, right? There's a market demand for that Tom Brady jersey. Some people are willing to pay for it, Tom Brady fans or New England Patriots fans. So there's always going to be market demand, and that's going to be different than an individual demand. So as a producer, it is much more helpful to think about the market demand. And as a consumer, obviously, I'm only concerned with my individual demand, but the market demand is going to be the sum of all the individuals. So talking about the law of demand, here it is. As price increases, quantity demanded decreases. Okay, so let me say that again. As price increases, quantity demanded decreases. So what does that mean? Well, as price decreases, quantity demanded increases. Right? So we're going to shorten this as P goes up, QD goes down, and as P for price goes down, QD for quantity demanded goes up. And this is QD, not D. This is quantity demanded, not demand. We're going to talk about the difference between quantity demanded and demand in a later day. But at this moment, you realize that quantity demanded is going to be reliant on price. Okay, so a good way to think about this is imagine that you are in the grocery store and you see a sale, okay, and you're going to buy a 12 pack of Coca-Cola, and that 12 pack of Coca-Cola is normally $3.99, and at the moment it's on sale for $2.99. Well, you are more likely to buy that Coca-Cola at $2.99 than you were at $3.99. And so when we look at the market demand, Coca-Cola is going to sell more 12 packs when they are on sale than they would have. So as the price for Coca-Cola decreased right here, the quantity demanded from the market increases. This could also be individual. Okay, so if it was a buy one get one free, for example, and so the price really is increased by half, your quantity demanded is going to be double. So the price is decreased by half. Your quantity demanded is going to be double. Instead of getting two, you're only going to get one. If the price increases, the whole collective is more likely to buy more. So if the price of Coca-Cola goes up, now it's $5.99. Well, less people are going to buy Coca-Cola. They're going to go to alternatives such as Pepsi. And so price increases, the quantity of Coca-Cola demanded by the market decreases. And for me, if I go to the grocery store and I only have a certain amount of money, if the prices have increased, I'm buying less things. I'm demanding less things. So we're also going to graph demand. It's not hard. We're going to use a demand schedule, which is a listing that shows the various quantities of a particular product at all prices that might prevail in the market at a given time. So here's a demand schedule. This is CDs, and at 50 cents, people are going to buy 9 million CDs per week. If we raise the price to $1, well, less people are going to buy it. It's going to be 6 million per week. And if we raise it to $1.50, it's going to be 4 million per week. And notice that in our column on the left side, as the price goes up, the quantity demanded on the right side goes down. Okay, from 9 to 6 to 4 to 3 to 2. And if you do it the other way, if we started with E and went down to A, as price goes down from 250 to 2 to 150 to 1 to 50 cents, the quantity demanded is going to go up 2 million, 3 million, 4 million, 6 million, 9 million. Okay, and so if we were a firm, if we were the company making these CDs, we're going to have to figure out at what price point do we make the most money. Okay, and so this is going to be sort of a visual representation of what we just talked about. Now, the other thing we have is a demand curve. Our demand curve is going to be a graph showing basically what we looked at on the last slide. Remember on the last slide, we have the demand schedule. Well, a demand curve is basically going to be a graph of the demand schedule. So a graph showing the quantity demanded at each and every price that might prevail in the market. So we're going to use these exact same numbers, and we are going to use them to create now a graph. On this graph, we have our x-axis, which is quantity demanded, and then millions of discs per week, and we're going to draw 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. And then on our y-axis is different price points: 50 cents, $1, $1.50, $2, $2.50, $3. And then we're going to plot all of our points. So point A is 50 cents and 9 million discs per week. So at 50 cents, we're going to put 9 million, and we're going to put a point here. And we're going to do the same thing for B, C, D, and E. And then the demand curve is going to be a curve that goes right through there, okay, all the way through there. And that is going to be the demand curve. Now, if the price decreases, then the demand curve is going to, basically it's going to look the same way, because we're always going to, on the y-axis, we're always going to have our price going from high up here to low down here. Now, when we get to supply, it's going to reverse, and this graph is going to look the other direction. And then we're going to be able to use the intersection of those 2 points to figure some things out, and we'll talk about that later. But for now, the demand curve always slopes down. Okay, so demand starts with D, down starts with D, demand goes down like that. Okay, so for your last thing for today, in that last box, explain how you have seen the concept of demand affecting prices in the real world. Answer that in the box, and I will see you hopefully in class tomorrow. Have a great day.